Okay, hey there everybody, it's Amanda, how's it going? And this is going to be a little review of sorts of the new Dragon Ball Z movie, Resurrection F, which I saw in theaters. Oh, what the fuck day did I see it in theaters? I believe that I saw it in theaters on Tuesday, that was August 4th. Yeah, so I saw it at 10 p.m. after a very, very long day. I must admit that I was exhausted. Now, I'm going to try to make this as balanced a review as possible, you know, I will admit that, well, I'm just going to come out and say it and put my conclusion basically right up front, and then try to explain why I felt the way I did. I didn't like it very much, and I really hate to say that, because I desperately wanted to love this movie right off the bat. I have no doubt that I will probably end up loving it eventually, because that's just what happens. And, you know, I frankly feel as though I am cursed to be, I must love it. I must come to love it at some point. It is an errant child that I must come to love some way, somehow. But yeah, I had a good time insofar as, it was I think the first or second, no, it was the second showing, as far as I know, that day, but it was the first day, of the movie being released into theaters in America, and the theater was absolutely packed with Dragon Ball Z fans. I think they oversold the show. I mean, people were just sitting, on the stairs in the aisles. Everybody was super into it. A lot of people, wearing Dragon Ball Z shirts and bags and all kinds of cool stuff, and, a lot of cheering. The biggest cheer that the movie got I cheered too, frankly, for this too, was when Vegeta went, super blue snow cone Saiyan, which was, which I actually really love. That was definitely a thing about the movie that I love. I love the new form. I think it looks great. It's silly, but it's a lot, personally, I think it's a lot less silly than the red hair, slimmed down, Super Saiyan God form. I actually have grown to love Battle of Gods, and I didn't like that one either when I first saw it, I have to admit. First time I saw Battle of Gods in theaters, I was pretty disappointed. So maybe, sometimes that is just sort of the way I start out liking something, is hating it utterly. I didn't hate this, but I just didn't feel like it was, well, let me say that I feel like this movie has a lot of unique circumstances sort of working against it. I think that there's a lot of pressure on this movie to wear a lot of hats. I keep on having to remind myself that all of the movies, for Dragon Ball right now have a lot of circumstantial things about them that might make it more difficult for perhaps an older fan or that's used to the way things were released in the past, or just for different reasons. So I'm trying to be as open-minded as possible and try to understand why maybe certain things drive me crazy that really shouldn't in the end. I think the biggest thing is just it's this whole kind of cart before the horse thing. I mean, back in the old days when there were Dragon Ball movies of some kind, there was an understanding that it was something extra. It was something, non-canon, and it was something that wasn't really meant to advance the storyline, the main storyline of the show in any kind of way. It was just something extra. And now there is this weird thing where it's like, halfway through the time, from the time that this new movie, Resurrection F, was announced, the time it was announced, to the time that it was released, I mean, somewhere halfway in that time, we found out about Dragon Ball Super. So it's, and of course, Battle of Gods had come before, so you have this unique situation where after 18 years, you have these movies that sort of have at least the illusion of taking precedence as the story, and that, I think, can get sort of frustrating because they can't. I mean, they're not designed to actually advance the story or go into details that I guess I'm just hungry for. I mean, I think that's the thing, is like, especially for people that have waited, you know, a long, long, long time for this, like, fucking miraculous shit to happen, you know, it's just, there's, you know, the movie needs to be so much more than it probably ever could, so I get that, totally. And I want to say that I have been watching Dragon Ball Super every week. I love it. I think it's fantastic. And I think part of the reason why I found this movie frustrating was because it isn't doing some of the things that I think the show is doing and that Battle of Gods did. And I'll get into some of that in a little while. I do sort of feel like of the three, like what we have of Dragon Ball Super so far, Revival of Resurrection F. I always say Revival F. I'm sorry, I keep saying that, but yeah, Resurrection F and Battle of Gods. I feel like this is sort of the weakest link in the three. But again, there might be certain biases and stuff. You know, that my opinion might be biased on certain levels, and there might be certain levels reasons why I feel that way. So anyway, yeah, so the cart before the horse thing is weird. Just sort of also the idea that, you know, back in the old days, the movies, you know, the animation was always something a little bit on the special side. It was always sort of a bit maybe not always, but it was a bit stylistically different. The quality was much enhanced, and I suppose that you could probably still make the same argument here. I mean, there is probably, I don't know if Dragon Ball Super has had any, you know, like CGI animation. There was some in Resurrection F. I thought it was awful, I have to say. Offhand, I can't remember exactly what it was. I mean, it was obviously during the battle scenes, but was it just the Freeza soldiers coming in? I don't know, but I mean, it was there. There was definitely, you know, computer, you know, enhanced, a particular kind of computer enhanced animation that doesn't exist in the show. But really, I mean, a lot of the animation in the older movies was really of a very high quality, I felt. I mean, I think the Dead Zone or Return My Gohan, I don't know the Japanese titles or necessarily what they translate to. I usually just say movie 1, movie 6, movie 12, you know, most of you guys are going to know what I'm talking about. I mean, I think movie 12 is a stunningly, brilliantly animated film. I always have. I think The Dead Zone is a gorgeously animated film. I actually think parts of movie 6 are absolutely gorgeous. There's some really beautiful rotoscoping in there, and movie 7 to some degree as well. Or really all of them. I mean, all of them, well, maybe not all of them. Some of them have some great animation, and I kind of feel like the style and generally speaking, the quality sort of feels fluent from show to the films, with some exception. And I'm not sure I'm so into that. I also wanted to say that I'm not, I am a member of, you know, of the Kanzenshu, which used to be Daizenshu EX forums. You know, I do try, I haven't listened to the podcast in a long, long time. I don't really follow the forums. I'm not really I'm not up to date on the, you know, like other people's reviews on the movie, or the show or anything, so like I don't, you know, there's probably a lot of, you know, I know there's also the new manga that's out. I haven't been reading that, so there's, you know, part of the reason I am making this review is, you know, just tell me where I'm wrong, you know, because I'm probably, you know, I'm not as up to date, so I did want to say that. I also wanted to say too that, like, you know, some of the older movies were absolutely awful too. It's not like the failings of these new ones, or this new one in particular, is anything. I mean, you know, movie 4 and movie 11 were fucking awful. Now, having said that, and having stated all the distaste for this one that I have and that I will in this, one of the reasons I don't just go ahead and put a fucking bullet in my brain is because they're making new Dragon Ball fucking Z, of some variety or another. I mean, I love it. Just make more Broly movies. I don't care. You know, just keep making it. I absolutely adore it. You know, so, I mean, like I said, I am cursed to love all things Dragon Ball, whether I like it or not. So yeah, so at the end of the day, I mean, you know, it can't fail that badly insofar as how I'm going to, you know, make it a part of my life. So anyway, I did take some notes. What am I missing? Okay, so I'll just go through a couple of points. I hated that Goten and Trunks weren't in it at all. I don't remember if they were, like, at the very beginning. I know there was some comment about, you know, if they're here, they're gonna make a mess or something like that, but not even a little bit. It's just, I hate that it's feast or famine with them. You know, there has been a lot of them, and not all of it's been great. Like that little special with the, I don't know, I mean, I get it. I mean, they're really annoying to a large degree. There's both a lot of ways that they could take those characters, and I sincerely hope that they get a chance to be the characters I know that they can be, but I don't know how much they're really going to develop them, even within Dragon Ball Super. But just to not use them at all when they have been in the show so much, and the other, you know, recent specials and Battle of Gods, it just seemed very strange. It just seemed weird. And okay, the next thing, and I'm totally honest when I say that, like, I feel very conflicted about saying this and having a problem with this, because while I love Tien and Master Roshi and Krillin, I love them, I want to see more of them, I've, you know, made arguments as to why they should be more a part of the show, I really felt like it was fucking strange that so much attention to them was given in this movie. I mean, I know I'm supposed to just say, like, wow, that's so cool that they gave them a chance, but again, I think it's because of this circumstance of just, like, feeling like the movie is in this cart before the horse kind of situation where it feels like it needs to give me something in the way of advancing the story and not just being this sort of side thing, which it still is, and of course it will be, a version of it will be repeated within Super. It's just hard for me to sort of say, you know, it's just hard for me to rationalize, like, why all this attention all of a sudden is being given to them. And I don't like putting pressure on Dragon Ball Z to make sense, because I know Toriyama is a fucking genius, but it's not really it's not really a logical geniusness. Well, it is in many ways, but I mean, you know, it's like logic is very upside down. It can change. He forgets things, and I love that. But certain things like Master Roshi going up against, you know, Frieza's soldiers, just I had a hard time with that one. I had a hard time believing that he could do the, I can't remember what the technique is called where he gets all muscly. It just kind of felt like, really? And I also just don't feel like I know them anymore. Like, Tien hasn't been used for dick fucking shit squat in a million years, and I sort of wish there was, like, something more about his character than just sort of dry combat. I don't know. I thought it was also strange how much, like, melee was in this movie, which I did like, because even though we're clearly still doing the whole, like, obsession with the new forms, you know, of Super Saiyan and stuff, it does kind of feel like, you know, just grappling and punching and kicking is, like, taking more of a hold rather than key attacks, and like, such an emphasis on transforming. I mean, Goku fought as base, well, not base, but I mean, you know, just black-haired Goku for a lot of the movie, and I did like that. That's not really a complaint, that's just sort of an observation. I think that is interesting, maybe, the way in which we're kind of shifting. You know, I mean, just like there was no Super Saiyan 3, there was very little, there was much less fetishizing of all the different levels of Super Saiyan in this particular movie, certainly than there was in Battle of Gods. I hate Gohan. And I hate that I hate Gohan. More than anything, I hate that I hate him. I love Gohan. He's one of my favorite characters in the world. And, you know, 0 to 12, I love the kid. He's just, he's golden. He's fantastic. But really, anything after the Cell games, I just can't fucking stand him. And his character has very little motivation left. There's just nothing left, you know, and I don't know where they're gonna take him, but everything that he did pissed me off in this movie. I hate the way he looks. He looks like absolute shit. I'm amazed that we're in this thing with this character who's so important to the story and doesn't really have, like, an identity, like, physically or directionally in terms of his motivation as a character. You know, I mean, I feel like what he needs is, like, to be made to make another choice of, like, are you going to do this living frivolously as a human thing, or are you actually going to, you know, do your responsibility thing, and keep getting stronger, and, you know, and that needs to happen. I mean, something like that needs to happen where it changes the character. That's kind of what I feel anyway. But this whole thing of, like, not knowing what he, and I don't know if the translation's different from Japanese to English. You know, I mean, he says, Master Roshi says something to him. I saw the English version, of course, that, you know, can you still turn into Super Saiyan? He's like, I think, and he turns Super Saiyan, but I don't know what's going on. The whole thing with the ultimate version, or what some people call the mystic, you know, form, it's just such a mess. It's just, you know, I just can't stand it. So I just, you know, just Gohan, get your fucking ass together. Ass together. Get your act together. Okay? Get your fucking act together. I hated the lack of Vegeta in this fucking movie. I really had a problem with it. I feel like I'm not alone in saying that one of the best things about all of the recent Dragon Ball Z stuff, Dragon Ball Super, everything, all the recent stuff, has been the incredible levels and amounts of Vegeta fan wank. I just feel all 7 of my fucking Dragon Balls feel so thoroughly satisfied and emptied. I'm just the level of fan wank for Vegeta, and they've made him so adorable and so irresistible. You know, very, very meta in parts, and now I'm addicted. I want that, you know, I want it to continue, please. And I just didn't feel like there was enough of them in this movie. I mean, I loved what there was. I loved the training stuff with him and Goku and Whis and Beerus. I mean, all that stuff was fantastic. I love everything happening with that character. It's sort of everything that I've been wanting, you know. And I think a lot of people feel that way, but just very little of it. There was very little of it, and that was troubling. Hopefully this isn't gonna piss a lot of people off. I know, but I really, Freeza coming back, really, I don't care. I mean, it's fine with it. The whole thing of him being in this, like, cute, puffy, plushy hell was very funny. I mean, all of that was really, really great. But I didn't think that. I wasn't, you know, again, if they made the return of Bio Broly, I'd be fine with it, so I'm fine with it. But not particularly interesting. And part of that also might have been because I don't really like watching the show. I never have really liked watching the show in English, with a couple of exceptions. I prefer the Japanese voice cast, so I'm very much looking forward to rewatching this movie in Japanese with English subtitles, and because I think, I don't know for sure, actually, I have to admit, but I think Frieza's original voice actor is still voicing him in games and stuff, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know below. But yeah, whatever. Yeah, so anyway, so other things that I liked, I absolutely love the new costume designs for Goku and Vegeta. Fantastic. They look great. They really, really fucking look fantastic, especially Goku. I think it was time. It was really time for Goku to get a bit of a makeover, and it's got a very sort of charming, weird, kind of funky look. It's in toy form. And several people have said it, I don't know by name, but there's a weird sort of bootleggy look that does result, in toy form of this new Goku outfit, and I love it. It just looks fantastic, and it looks fantastic with the blue snow cone Saiyan hair. Vegeta looks fantastic. I love the symbol that Whis put on them. I love Beerus and Whis. I can't get enough of them. I love them. I think they're fantastic. I felt like there was a very interesting sort of sinister element that I don't really think has necessarily been explored in Dragon Ball Super. I have to admit, some of the episodes of Dragon Ball Super I've seen so far have been raw and not subtitled. Some of them have been subtitled, so there's probably little bits of pieces of their character development that I've missed. But insofar as what I've seen from Battle of Gods or anything, I mean, just this idea that, like, you know, it's totally okay with these guys that the fates of billions and billions of living things, you know, just rests on whether they're getting their ice cream or not is it's just fucking evil. And it's interesting. It's an interesting element to their characters, and it's kind of you never know when Toriyama is going to get deeply profound, and I don't know if that is where he's going to go with it, but a little bit of that is there at least. Again, I love the blue snow cone Saiyan hair. I think it looks great. It looks fantastic. I think it's, yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, yeah, sure, it's silly. The whole way that Dragon Ball as a franchise is starting to, or has been conducting itself for a long time. I mean, just there's something about it that has embraced a lot of, you know, the fan art and the sort of customization stuff, and even some of the, you know, just all the AF, and it's all kind of, you know, it looks like that. I mean, now the show sort of looks like that, and I feel like it's slowly taking on. I mean, especially those, you know, all these games you can do so much customization with. I don't know. I just think it's very. It's not, what I'm trying to say is that it's not totally unexpected, because people have been making them look not terribly different than this for years and years. But it's still, you know, it's done pretty elegantly, and I think it's great. So of course I will buy the DVD. I look forward to buying the DVD. I will watch it many times. I will end up, if not loving it, liking it very, very much, I'm sure, or appreciating it on some decently profound, you know, as much as I've got to, okay? Again, I didn't like Battle of Gods. I really do like Battle of Gods now. I don't know if I remember not liking the music, and I don't know whether there's a difference in the music from English version to Japanese version. So I'm interested to find that out. Again, I am interested in hearing it with the Japanese voices. I just thought that it felt like there was something really huge missing to this, and I just think that part of that is probably because it isn't the show, and it feels like it needs to be the show, but it can't be the show, and we're getting the show, but it's, you know, it's just, it's a very strange, it's a very strange way of watching a story happen, the way they're laying everything out, because of course we will hear all of this again, but we'll hear it all differently, and then that will be at least the more canon version, you know, and yet we'll have gotten used to an extra, you know, a retelling essentially first, and so it's just, I think it makes for a little bit of a disjointed, unappealing reaction on some level, but obviously it does have a lot of good things going for it. I'm thrilled beyond all reason that they're making more Dragon Ball Z movies, and of course Dragon Ball Super. I do look forward, you know, I don't really spend a lot of money on toys anymore. Would if I could, but I do like a lot of the figures that are coming out. I think the new SH Figure Arts for Revival of F, or Resurrection of F, sorry, I did it again, look fantastic. I'd love to get the Goku and the Vegeta, and the Gold Freeza looks great. So very good, but not very good, if you know what I mean. I'm sure people will disagree with me. Let me know what you think. I will be back soon with more videos, more toy reviews. I'm sorry again there hasn't been a lot of videos lately. I've been extremely busy. There's some very, very incredibly enormous news coming. I'm not entirely sure when. Could be a couple of weeks, could be a couple of months actually. We'll just have to see. That more involves my other channel, but Forever Wolf Films, but I did talk about this channel. So we'll see what happens. Alright, all the best. Bye for now. Thank you very much again, everybody, and I look forward to speaking to all of you again soon. Take good care. Bye!